Hello everyone, as you can see behind me we have some wood cladding, which means we can finally start fitting out the interior of the Sprinter. Yes, hello everyone and welcome back. As you can see, I'm in the back of the Sprinter. We finally have some wood cladding and we have some laminate flooring, which means we can finally start to fit out the interior of the Sprinter. Now this side is all ready to go and we can literally start to apply the cladding to this side. However, what I really want to do first today is concentrate on the floor. Now obviously the bed section over there I'm not going to be doing much to because I don't need to insulate it. That's where all the tools, spare parts and everything's going to be on a race weekend. But this section here where people are going to see and walk on, I really want to get insulated and then that laminate flooring down before I start cladding this side. That way I know where to butt up against the edge for the cladding to the floor. So what I've done already is I have taken up this little section of wood that was already laid down from the previous owner or from Parcel Force, so this van was an ex-Parcel Force van, and I've given it a good clean, a good degrease. However, what I really need to do now is go back home because I've forgotten some wood. Okay, so we're now back home with all the wood that I possibly need. I have lifted up both panels of the floor. I have cleaned, degreased, hoovered everything, made sure everything is nice and clean underneath. Then what I've done is actually put the boards back. Now originally I was just going to do this on top of the metal. However, I've decided because the wood gives it a nice flat surface that I'm going to do this on top of the wood panels. Plus it gives me a good reason just to leave them alone at the back for all my tools, all the spares and stuff. That wood is absolutely perfect because it's a really hard wearing, expensive wood panel. So what I'm going to do now is screw all of these down. I'm then going to glue the insulation to these panels here, and then we can actually lay the laminate flooring on top of this, and I'll have a nice little wooden frame for everything to sit on and sit up against at the back there, which means that I can then build the bed and I have a nice flat edge for the wood. Okay, so the floor base is now ready. I can actually start to put the laminate flooring on top of this, which would then enable me to be able to start cladding that side. Because once I get the floor down, I know exactly where to butt up against the edge on the wooden floor for the cladding. So, I'm now going to start getting these laminate flooring packs out and start attempting to do the floor. Okay, so the floor is now done and I think you'll agree it looks absolutely fantastic. There's a few little gaps I need to just knock back up so it sits flush with that beam at the back that I've installed, and then we can start concentrating on the cladding. As you can see, I've already done 4 panels worth there. I just trimmed the edge round the wheel arch just to see how good a fit I could get it by eye, because what I'm going to do is not worry particularly too much about the wheel arch because the bed is going to completely cover that. So up to that point of the floor is going to be the bed, and then underneath the bed obviously all the spares, tools, bits and pieces like that. However, unfortunately I'm now going to have to go back to the unit because I've left all the nails and screws to put the cladding on with. Okay, so we're now back at the unit, which means I can crack on with the cladding. I had forgotten to pick up these little panel pins, which is what I'm going to use just to nail these cladding to the battens. And then I've also got these 2 pieces of trim. Now this piece here is literally just an end piece which will slot over the edge of the cladding on the side here, and then this piece is going to be for the roof on both sides, where it then does a 90-degree angle. So I'll be able to do the cladding all up into that piece of trim there, and then the same on the roof. I can only do this side for now because what I'm waiting for is the cabling for the split charge relay system, my lights, and a few other bits and pieces which I'm going to want to wire up, but I'm going to try and do it all on that side, and then obviously the lights on the roof. So what I'm going to do now is crack on with this cladding and hopefully get this side done. Okay, so as you can see I have done probably 2/3 of this side now and the transition to the roof. I'm really happy with how this is coming along. I'm loving this end piece here. It just really finishes it off and makes it really nice, smart, tidy end. And this trim piece here was an absolutely fantastic idea. I just wish it was a little bit more flexible, a little bit more compliant, because this being a perfectly 90-degree angle, it was a little bit of a pain to try and get these roof panels to actually sit up. However, I think once I carry on with the roof and actually contour it all the way around to the van, I think it's going to be a really smart finish. Obviously, I'll do the same on that side, and I really want to get these trim pieces on every single edge that will be at the end of this panel run. So obviously the only thing I can do is now wait until next week. Once all the parts get here, I've got to run the battery cable from the battery that sits in front of the passenger seats all the way to the back where the bed will be, so I can put the leisure battery and the split charge relay system. Then I can also run bits and pieces like flex or twin and earth, go into some plug sockets. I'm going to try and keep it all on this side and maybe at the end here, because I can do a run going down that side and then into the unit. I might get one of those plug sockets that lifts out of a unit like you do see in some kitchens, so that'd be a really good idea. Obviously I can't do anything else until then. I've just got to do that little piece there, which unfortunately I just run out of time this weekend, so again that'll have to wait until next weekend as well. But I'm really pleased with how everything's coming along, and I really can't wait to get this thing done. It's now starting to look like a camper, and it's getting me a little bit more excited, and I really can't wait to have our first day in here. So, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.